live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the YPN Hot Seat. My name is Dakota Jordan. I am your host, and today we have in the hot seat my dear friend Kuol. Kuol, tell the people hello.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me and joining us this morning.
Yes, and before we get started, we have some very important news to share. It is Kuol's birthday. Kuol, how old are you today?
I am 32.
32.
Yes.
Hooray. I will save everyone and I won't sing because then we won't get any views on this. But wish Kuol happy birthday in the comments. 32 years young. I wouldn't have even known. Gonna look at day over 21.
Hey, there we go.
I was gonna say younger. And then I was like, that's probably not what people want to hear. Younger than 21. But
it's all right.
Anywho, alrighty. Well, this is kind of our first official interview. I was gonna say interview.
I think it's an interview. Yeah, maybe hot seat interview. Yeah, we could call it.
Yeah, it's the first official one because me and Corey didn't count because we're the host, and no, people already know who we are. It's fine. Right. So today we're gonna be talking to Kuol on his birthday. What a treat! So if anyone has any comments or any questions throughout that they want to make sure that we ask, make sure to drop them in the comments and we will pull them up and ask. This is your chance to get your questions answered.
Okay. I feel like I'm just part of society, and then Brandon was like, oh, where's Kuol? We have a question for you.
Yes.
But here's the time and here's the place.
This is the time for the hard questions. Yes. All right. And you have to answer them because you're in the hot seat.
Hey, there you go. I'll do my best.
There you go. Okay. So I think we should start out and figure out who the heck are you? So who are you and what do you do?
Well, as many of you heard from Dakota, my name is Kuol Malou. I am the Director of Community Engagement at ACE Academy and also YPN Steering Committee.
Yes.
Yeah.
That Director of Community Engagement, we just talked about this in your title change. That sounds like a super cool title. So tell me what it is that you actually get to do for work every single day.
Well, the best part of my job is, engaging and having these type of meetings and, connection with people and in the community. And I feel like that's probably the most important thing we can do as a community is, connecting one another, sharing our stories and what we do, because again, we go beyond our professional level and we want to engage with people in their personal lives and their family and why they invest in what they're doing with their professional. So, and with being Director of Community Engagement, my job is literally to just go in the community, talk to businesses, just share our story, what we do at ACE Academy, and just creating that organic connection and say, hey, we're here for the community and we're trying to make the community a better place for young learners. And so they become better and effective members of the community. So.
Awesome. Sounds like a dope job.
Yes. Yes. Very exciting.
For those people who maybe don't know, I feel like lately ACE Academy has been blowing up on the internet. You just did a 1 million cups. I know that recently, a couple of months ago, you guys did your ribbon cutting. And so ACE Academy has kind of been all over the place. But if anyone in the virtual, audience? That's the word that I'm thinking for. Anyone in our virtual audience has not heard of ACE Academy yet. Can you give us the lowdown on what ACE is and its beginnings?
Yes. So ACE Academy, we were established in 2020. It was alongside my coworkers, JJ Johnson and Chloe Clements. ACE Academy is a nonprofit K-8 private school that caters to, teaching young learners that we are teaching them holistic education. Schools go beyond, core curriculums of math, science. So we try to focus on the whole body of the students. So ACE Academy does tailor to those needs. And also with ACE Academy, it serves a lot of the communities who are underserved, and we do target those families, and we try to be diverse. And a lot of times when we talk about schools, like, oh, what does a school look like and what we want to do, we sat down and, with COVID and all the things that's happening, we were like, hey, how does the education look like? And my co-founders and I, we were like, well, let's have a serious conversation of how school is going to affect our children and going forward, what we want to teach them. And we always want to focus on the holistic view of a child, because when you go to school, it's like, hey, you're going to go take math, social studies, and all those things matter, but what about the other aspects of the children? What about their mental health? What about their family lifestyles? And all these things integrate into making a whole student. So that's what we want to focus on in ACE Academy.
That's awesome. And I have had the great privilege of being able to tour ACE Academy. And my favorite part of the school is the meditation room.
Yes.
And I know that the kiddos do meditation, and I
Yeah.
have worked with JJ teaching her breathing techniques that she has been passing on to the kids. And that is just like, I was never taught any of those coping mechanisms in school, right? Like I found those when I decided to go do yoga later. And how much more of a functioning human being could I have
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
if I had
Yeah.
all these techniques to deal with everything outside of figuring out how to do a math problem or science or all of these other things. I think it's amazing that you guys are addressing kiddos as a whole person and all of these techniques that we have to teach them. So really, really amazing stuff. If you haven't checked out ACE, I know Kuol will give you a tour. I know when all the kiddos are in there.
Definitely come see our space. It will be our delight.
Yeah, he'll give you a tour. It's a really, really amazing space. And they do really, really cool stuff with the kids outside of core curriculum. So go ahead and check it out. So moving on, but I think we won't necessarily maybe be moving on from this subject. The next question is, what are you passionate about? Tell us about that.
This kind of took me a long time to find an answer, but I am most passionate about giving people a voice, because a lot of times when we are misunderstood in society, it's because we just didn't have a space to speak what we feel. So I feel I'm most passionate about giving somebody a space to speak their story and tell what they're about, and then connecting them with someone that may be helpful or purposeful in their life. And it took me a while, and that was one of the reasons why I left the corporate world. I did 12 years of sales, and I did a lot of different jobs and communicate with different CEOs, the different cultures in a workspace. And then through all those things in my life, I was like going back and I was like, what is the purpose of why I do what I do? Sales just, selling a product and giving us value. But then it's like, at some point we need to give humans value, because that's one of the things we miss. So I feel I'm most passionate about, giving somebody a voice or letting their voice be heard.
Yes, I think you're really good at that. You're really accomplishing.
I appreciate that.
Okay. Next thing that I want to ask is, what is your favorite? I know that you've been in YPN for a while. When did you start YPN, actually?
I started YPN when I was, with Cell Only. It was our HR lady connecting me with Kayla, and I think that was back in 2018. So I was just a member, but then I was doing it under my corporate job. But then, after a while, I left the corporate world. I decided, to be in the steering committee. So That was last year, and that was you who did my interview. So that was exciting.
Yes. So I actually found Kuol. We were both in the Leaders of Tomorrow program with Think 3D Solutions. And I was talking to my mentor, Tamian, and I was like, who else do I need to connect with? Is there anyone from LOT that, like, we're looking for some steering committee members, like we're hoping to up our diversity, and like I just really need someone who's going to like get on the boat with me on this thing. And he was like, you need to meet Kuol. And Kuol and I went to go get coffee. And I felt like we had known each other for like 10 years after 5 minutes. Like, I think we instantaneously became best friends. And if people know me at all, they know that like, this is what you get. Like, I am very extroverted and I love human beings, but our connection was very strong right away. And I think you're just that way with everybody. I think everyone gets that reaction.
Just give everybody their energy.
But I was like, okay, these are the things that we're trying to do. We need to get you on the steering committee. And he was like, let's do it. So that's how Kuol like really got involved. And now you've just been everywhere. Your face is like literally everywhere now. But so in that, and maybe you have a story that's like kind of pre your steering committee days. Can you tell us your favorite YPN story?
Yes. So before YPN, before I even got to know what it was, I asked my HR ladies, like, what is YPN? I was like, well, it's just, connect you with different business owners. And I was like, oh, so it's just probably like a mixer. Then you just have wine here, there, or coffee. But then before YPN, I was like, there should be a way where people connect and tell their stories and say, hey, this is what I do for a living, and how can I move forward? How can I better myself? One of my favorite YPN events that I thoroughly enjoy is the Unmute or Unmuted, because what happens in that space is that everyone gets to talk. It's not just a stage for one person, but everyone gets to connect, tell their story. You have a moderator saying, hey, what do you do and what are you most passionate about? And I feel like that's probably what gives us a value for what we do, is sharing our value in our job and occupation. So I love those events, and I definitely love the birthday bashes, because those are those are a lot of fun. It just kind of gets us to unwind from our corporate world and, our profession. So that's those are the two favorite events that I have.
Yes, I feel we should. If I would have known that you were going to share that, I would have gotten the picture ready. We could have like blasted the picture. We have a really great picture from the photo booth of me and Kuol at the birthday bash, and that's after you were like, "Yeah, I'm going to be on the steering committee."
Like, I think Kayla approached me and she was like, "Hey, I got news for you," and I was like, "Oh, what is it?" It's like, and then she told me the news, and it was pretty exciting. So
yes, I remember there was multiple of us steering committee members who were like, has someone told Kuol yet? Has someone not? And like everyone was trying to be like, do say congratulations.
Do tell him now.
And, like, Kayla just was like, hey, you're on it.
That was probably the best way to tell somebody. It made me very excited. So.
Yes. Awesome. Okay. Next question. 3 words to describe Kuol.
3 words to describe myself. I'm very, very, very vulnerable. I've come to discover that in 2020 and 2021. I'm very vulnerable. I think a lot of people in society will say I wear my heart on my sleeve, because I think the best way is organically we're made to connect with people. So why hold it back? So very vulnerable. Second thing, I'll probably have to say, I don't know. It's kind of hard to always describe yourself unless somebody tells you what you are. To describe me, I'm very outgoing. You never see me, look upset. If I do, it's probably in private, but I definitely love to smile all the time, as you can see. The third thing to describe me, I love talking. I mean, that's basically what I do for a living, is I love talking to people. And, that's just one thing I'm very passionate about, just connecting with people. So
vulnerable, outgoing.
Yeah. I love talking.
Talkative.
Yes.
I feel like we would use the same.
Yes.
Perfect. Oh, okay. So those are like my questions, but and let's see. Do we have any? Kayla's in the background. Hey, Kayla, everybody say hi to Kayla. Is there any questions that have come up for Kuol on the internet? I want to make sure that I leave space if we have any. No comments yet. Perfect. I'm like slipping back and forth on this thing. Okay. So let's see. What can I ask? I feel like it's hard for me to think of things to ask you, because I feel like I already know you. So when Kuol says that he's vulnerable and is an open book, and you will feel like you've known him forever, that is 100% true. So let's talk maybe a little bit outside of work, right?
Yeah.
Work's great.
Yes.
What do you do outside of working and coming to YPN events?
Yes.
that you enjoy?
Outside of working in YPN events, I just trying to work on my, just mental health and, with the society and all the things that's going on. And obviously when I spoke on 1 Million Cups, I talked about, how education really affected my growth and where I am today. So a lot of times I see my people in the community, and I was like, I see a child that, either one is struggling or just needs to be somewhere. So I usually go out and have conversation with community members, say, hey, how can we be of help? Even not just using my title or what I do, is hey, just connecting with them. It's hey, there's a community here that can support you and give them that voice of advocacy. And I think that's what we need as a community, just going out there. And I got a chance to speak with Mayor Paul, and he was saying that South Dakota is definitely a place where you can just have a normal conversation. You go downtown Phillips Avenue and you can just say hi to somebody, and then you'll have an organic conversation. And I feel like that was one of the reasons why I stayed in the Midwest, is that just the overall community and, people just talking to each other and being vulnerable. And I have discovered that, a lot of people kind of tend to keep to themselves, because it's something that's hard to give your trust to somebody, especially in a place that's new. So I felt like it's not necessarily my duty, but my passion to go out and connect somebody with somebody they may need, or just being a human and say, hey, how are you? What do you do? And, just connecting with them. And I feel like that's probably one of the most important things we can do. Not even as just a YPN member or your profession. You work in a Bishop Dudley house, you're connecting with the community. You're the face of the community. So what better way to, use that as a platform to, give somebody space to be seen. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And there was one thing you mentioned in there. Here's another thing that, we have a question from Holly. I will ask that one. I do have a follow-up before I forget it. You have lived in many different places and then chose Sioux Falls to kind of settle down in. So I'm sure we have lots of YPN members that aren't from here, lots that are from here, but tell us about kind of all the different places that you've lived and why here.
So I've lived in the East Coast, New York, New Jersey, and West Coast, California, even by Arizona. So all these places were great places, but I think they were temporary because the sole reason why we actually moved a lot, I don't think I've ever shared it with anybody, was because my father was a chairman for the Sudanese community. So his job was basically to welcome new refugees and helping them settle in a place where they have the same tribes, because communication and language was a big barrier. Even now, I still struggle with some of the stuff. Basically, what my dad's job was to, go to these different communities, different states. And then the disadvantage of that was we had to move with him. So every grade I've been to since I came to the United States in 1998 has been a different school, different community. So I think my personality was developed to become outgoing because I was always forced to, have a conversation, have those communication skills and those soft skills. But then again, I'd be like, well, I definitely want to create that relationship with you, but I'm going to leave in the next 2 months. And I think the shortest place that we stayed was Otana, Minnesota, and we stayed there for 6 weeks. But then I was like, the only thing you can do is just tell who you are and just try to make that bond, and regardless of how short or long that relationship is. So all those places I lived, I think the reason why we stayed in Midwest was because it's a very diverse culture. A lot of the Sudanese community, a lot of the immigrant communities actually live in Midwest. And I think a lot of times when people describe, oh, what is the state is like, it's the community. That's literally what they search for. And it's not necessarily the job. The job may move you, but it's the community. If your community doesn't welcome you, how would you want to raise your kids in a community that doesn't even accept your family? So that was one of the reasons why we stayed in Midwest, and just the business aspect of it is very, very welcoming. And I decided to stay Midwest because the career I built, the people and the relationships I built with the people here.
Awesome. What a great testament to that. Okay, we're going to go back to Holly's question. So, Kuol, professionally, what is a 1-year goal you have also personally? So, professional 1-year goal, personal 1-year goal.
Professional goal would be to, and I know we talk a lot about ACE. My professional goal is to definitely pour out the story what we do at ACE, because if we had a program like ACE back, when I first came to America, it would definitely accelerate where I am today and give me a platform to become easier. So that's definitely professional. What I want to achieve is basically tell our story at ACE, and that it's something that wasn't really here and is not here. So what we teach at ACE is definitely important. And all those aspects of, holistically looking at a student, that's very important. But personally, I want to make South Dakota and Sioux Falls a community where people will come and settle and want to stay. Because a lot of times what happens when you have a great community, you do the job, you make your connections, and then you want to move. So being here since 2015, I discovered that a lot of my friends and colleagues that went to college here, they did their job. It's like, oh, I'm going to go to East Coast or West Coast. But what's the point of a community if you can't even build your citizens and make them want to stay? So that will be my personal goal. And it does tie in with my professional. But the conversation I have with city leaders and city councils and stuff that's what I want to do, is make this city, or Sioux Falls. I'm not even in Sioux Falls right now, and I say the city. I'm all the way in the West Coast right now. But definitely that's one of my professional and personal. So they kind of intertwine because of my job title.
Yeah. Where are you right now?
I am in Nevada, or Las Vegas, Nevada.
Las Vegas. I saw your picture on Instagram last night.
Yeah. That's pretty exciting.
Why are you there? Can you tell us a little bit of someone special who might have done something nice for you?
My partner is yes, my partner was definitely surprised me. I wasn't sure what was going on and all these mystery, but basically it's my birthday, and I thought it was gonna be like a normal day. It's like, hey, you know what? We're gonna go. So I didn't know about it until the last minute. We were getting into a flight. It's like, oh, we're flying somewhere. I was like, yes, we're flying somewhere. And then I was like, I didn't know where we're flying. We came to the airport. And it's like, oh, you guys are going to Vegas? And I got all excited because I definitely love Las Vegas because you get to meet a lot of different people. But yeah, we flew here for my birthday, and it's definitely exciting. We definitely went some sightseeing, and I love food. That was probably one of the reasons why my partner brought me here, and just enjoy some time from, away from work and, just daily routines of what we do. So definitely nice to relax and, just hang out. But this was very important. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to keep this on the calendar. And this is definitely something I did not want to miss.
Kuol stayed in the hot seat, even from Vegas, ladies and gentlemen. He is committed to the city and to YPN. Loves you all. All right. Casey has a question. Kuol, what is your favorite restaurant in Sioux Falls? This is a very important question, probably the most important.
I would have to say my favorite restaurant would be Maury's Steakhouse. I was going to say Brazilian Carnival, but the level of detail that's given inside and the kitchen and stuff is different because they just make it for the masses, but definitely more a steakhouse for steak. But I would have to say, just for coffee and stuff, I have to say Josiah. That's where all my relationships started. Josiah's. So, but yeah, those are two of my favorites.
Yes, if you want to get to know people and like you just want to run into someone or like have a conversation with someone, just hang out at Josiah's for 5 minutes and you will run into someone. Or maybe that's when you know that you've like made it. It's when you can't go to Josiah's and not see someone you know.
An interesting statement about what you just said. I think it was Kayla and I, and it was you and Kayla. We were sitting at Josiah's, and that's where I met Jay Rasmussen and then Steve, and then that relationship just started about how it goes into YPN and what we want to do for the chamber. And I think it speaks on to what the community is all about. It's literally about who you connect with and who you tell your story. And I think that's a very powerful way to make our community a better place.
Yes. Shout out to Josiah's. They are the hub for all of the things.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to get into some rapid fire questions.
Okay.
This was something me and Corey weren't necessarily prepared for, but this is going to be an important piece of Hot Seat for those of you watching. We're going to have some rapid fire questions. So you can't think about it. Like first thing that pops into your mind, that is your answer. We're going to do some actual questions and then I'm just dubbing it the super speed round.
The super speed.
This or that's.
Okay.
You got to pick it.
Okay.
And we'll wrap up and let you, go on with being in Vegas and eating delicious things. And I'm probably going to go home and make a peanut butter sandwich for lunch. So
hey, peanut butter jelly sandwich is where to go too.
All right. Are you ready? I feel like we should get like a timer or something for this. I'll talk to Kayla about that.
Okay.
Favorite book?
Oh man. The 10x rule.
10x rule. Okay. Most used emoji.
Probably the smiley one because I'm always smiling.
Which smiley one? There's like a bunch of smiley ones.
The one that shows all the teeth.
Okay.
Yeah.
This one?
Yep.
Perfect. Hidden talent.
I am a painter and an artist.
Best piece of advice you've ever been given?
To be myself.
Where is your happy place?
In front of my computer. I do a lot of computer stuff, so I like just messing with my computer.
And
PC
what are you afraid?
Specific.
What?
PC gaming, to be specific.
That's your happy place? Okay. Yeah. What are you afraid of?
Not being heard. Speaking 4 different languages.
Yeah. Okay, are you ready for the 10 questions of the super speed round, this or that?
Yes.
Okay. I feel like I should have given this more build up or something. I'm just like, hey, here we go. Okay. Hot or cold?
Cold.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Breakfast or dinner?
Breakfast.
Phone call or text message?
Phone call.
Facebook or Instagram?
Facebook. City
or forest?
Forest.
Toilet paper over or under?
Over.
Beer or wine?
Wine.
Ninjas or pirates?
Ninjas.
Perfect. Round of applause for Paul.
Do those questions have any connections? Like, those are just wild.
You made it through the very first speed round, rapid fire questions, and super speed round.
Oh, goodness.
I had fun. Did you?
Yes, I sure did.
I did. I totally just looked all of those up on the internet, and I was like, I really need a really good last one. And I was like, ninjas and pirates.
Ninjas and pirates. Ninjas, definitely. Pirates are fun, but that's a lot with water, so I don't think I want to be within a body of water for that long.
Yeah.
Yes.
Valid. Everyone will have their own response to that. So, Perfect. Well, we are coming up on our 25-minute mark. Kuol, is there anything else that you want to share with the YPN community?
The biggest thing is that I can share, and being the YPN steering committee and all the events we've had, I think just organically calling somebody, just saying, hey, let's just connect. It has nothing to do with YPN or the profession. Just have a seat and just talk to each other. And I think that's probably the most important thing we can teach and give to YPN members is just that's how we connect organically as humans. So just find somebody one or twice a week, just say, hey, look, this is what I want to do with you. Just have a coffee. And I think that's important. So that's the advice I would give the YPN members.
Awesome. And what is the best ways to connect with you personally? How can YPN members reach out if they think you're super cool and want to hang out with you after this?
Contact Kayla. No, I'm just kidding. But Kayla definitely does have a reach to me. You can contact me at Ace Academy, or actually, yes, aceacademysf.org. You can have, that's our webpage, or you can connect with me with Kuol at aceacademysf.org. Oh, thank you, Kayla. You're the best.
Look at her. She's back there.
Yeah, that's
up
the
all
best way to
things.
connect with me. Send me an email. I'd love to have coffee with you and chat. But that's probably the best way to connect with me is just my email, and then we'll find time to share, and that'll be it.
Perfect. Or on Facebook. You're on Facebook.
Yeah, that's true. Yep, Facebook. Just shoot me a message.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Kuol, for being in the hot seat today. This was super fun. I'm super glad that we got to do this first one together. And yes, we are looking for more interviewees. So if you are interested in being in the YPN hot seat, reach out to us. I know we have a few more people booked up for the upcoming weeks. I'm hoping that Kayla in the background can throw up who we are interviewing next week. It's not me, it's Corey. Corey is going to be interviewing Carly Manahan. Yay. Awesome.
So I think what would be another awesome, like, Hot Potato, the game we play Hot Potato. So the next person who does the interview, they should randomly find somebody in the YPN and toss like a hot potato. It's like, hey, I want you to be in the hot seat from now, and then pass it on that way. I think that'd be fun.
So are you saying that you would like to nominate someone to be in the hot seat, and you're going to call them out publicly on the internet?
Publicly, yep.
Who is it?
I don't know. I'll just, I'd want them to be not ready. So just throw them out there. It's like, hey, you're going to be in the hot seat. So,
okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that would be a good one. We should do that where, someone has to call someone out live. It's better if you call them out live.
Yes, that is true.
You can't think of someone?
I would have to say James
Gasper.
Yep.
The one and only. He just got featured on Pigeon 605. He's practically famous. I don't even know if we'll be able to book him. I don't know. Booking fee these days.
I'll sweet talk him. I'll sweet talk him. I'll even babysit. Maybe that will get him to come by. So
exactly. Yeah. I love it. Awesome. Well, that is all we have for today. Thank you, Kuol.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Kuol, please do. He's great.
Thank
and
you,
we'll
Taylor.
see you next week.
Thank you, Dakota. Thanks, guys.